Jay, kamusta ka? Kamusta yung pagbebenta mo sa palengke ng prutas tsaka pagtatrabaho mo sa babuyan? Para makapagpa-load ka at makalaro ka ng ML. Kahit pa 2 oras yung biyahe papuntang Bagak para maghatid ng baboy sa palengke, hanga ako sa'yo kasi kaya mo magtiyaga. Huwag kang mag-alala, lahat ng sinakripisyo mo, magiging worth it. Dahil sa Mobile Legends, magbabago ang takbo ng buhay mo tsaka ng pamilya mo. Oo nga pala, huwag mo kalimutan magpasalamat sa ate mo kasi pinahiram ka niya ng cellphone para makalaro ka. Mag-thank you ka rin sa mga pinsan and kuya mo kasi sila yung mga unang nakasama mo magbatak sa ML. Darating din yung panahon na makakabawi ka rin sa kanila. Sa atin lang dahil gigil ka sa kaka-RG, magiging top 1 ka sa stars at diyan ka madidiscover ni Boss D. Simula dito, marirealize mo na iba pala ang pagiging pro sa pagiging...
you can't keep me from my army. Nah, 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 I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na na na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I love. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are fun, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. Can't get it great. I'm better than great. I play my own role. I be kinda greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate. Championship mind on top of the week. What's up to the game? Shall reveal. Better than great. That's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na na na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I love. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Lay out firm, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. If we stand tall and believe we can make it, you and me, with a sense of urgency, you'll see I'm better than great. I'm better than great. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm better than. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Lay out firm, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great.
We are used to seeing a Filipino Grand Finals before M5 is going to be Apbren with the Hive going up against Blacklist International with the Agents to gain the right to go to the Grand Finals, to gain the right to represent the Philippines in the M5 World Championship. Welcome to the panel area. This place is lit, fam. My name is Afel. Alongside me is Gideon, my Malaysian boy. How you doing?
Doing good. It's great to be back on the panel once again. We got an exciting matchup lined up for you guys. And for the first time in a very long time, there's only going to be one Filipino representative after this best of 5 to make it to the grand finals.
There's a lot we got to talk about because we saw both teams play earlier where for both teams, it was a 3-0. But again, Blacklist won. And unfortunately, Apbren didn't have that good of a time. We got to talk about how in the M Series, no host country so far has won it all. And right now, it is going to be one representative from the Philippines going up to the grand finals. How do you feel about this?
Honestly, it could be a match made in heaven. For others, this could be the worst possible outcome. A faithful all-Filipino lower bracket final is a stressful situation for both the Agents as well as the Hive. One of these teams are going to make it through, and better yet, there is that possibility that the Filipino dynasty ends at the grand finals altogether.
I gotta ask, because watching Apbren play just now, after the first game going up against Onyx, the mentality, we have to question that. Are they ready to go up against Blacklist, where Blacklist, again, they might be feeling fresh. They got a 3-0 just now against Deus Vult.
There's a lot of momentum going between both the teams, but keep in mind, if history is recalled one more time, as a historian, both of these teams became champions in their own right from the lower bracket. History might just be repeating itself all over again.
Just to recap, ladies and gentlemen, Apbren, during that time was Brand, won the M2 World Championship, and Blacklist International, where again, this might be their miracle run. All the way from the lower brackets, going to the grand finals of M3 and winning that one with a score of 4-0. For them to repeat their own history, they got to win this one against Apbren. Again, this is also a rematch of MPL Philippines Season 12, and I don't know, I kind of feel like it's not going to be the same game.
It absolutely isn't going to be. The next generation of Blacklist is already here. And even for the side of Apbren, just adding that AP has made them more than what they are today. A faithful all-Filipino lower bracket final is happening today, and there's no changing it.
Let me just say, it is a full crowd. Feeling the energy from everyone here. I feel like this is going to be an amazing match. This match is going to replicate the feels, the emotion of a grand finals.
It truly will be. Honestly, I thought this was going to be the last time we see Filipinos going up against Filipinos since the regular season, and especially during the playoffs. But things have changed, and the one thing that I'm concerned of is whether Apbren can recover from that defeat, being shown to be human by Onyx Esports.
No matter what, if you want to be a champion, you got to recover, and you got to recover quickly. Going up against Blacklist, where they have shown they don't mind going up against aggression. They're very good at kiting. This is their Ube playstyle, where they don't always have to be aggressive. And they have shown that they are a very strong wall where they can basically push anyone away from them. Now we got to look at the Clash of the End series. Two-time hopefuls, where again, M2 for Apbren, M3 for Blacklist.
They're looking to make history repeat itself. Both sides have had accolades under their belts for the longest of times, and both of these teams have legacies to uphold. The question is whether this legacy is going to extend not only from the region itself, but beyond that to the rest of the world.
Going into this game, personally for me as an analyst, I'm definitely going to look at how the pick and bans is going to work out, because Apbren, it looks like they're willing to let go of strong heroes to the opposing side because they have ways to counter. Looking at Onyx, they let go of the Nolan 3 times, and they adjusted all around it. So for both teams, no question, the history is there. The knowledge is there. The experience is there. I almost want to say it's playing with their hearts. Who is hungrier? Who wants it more?
It's going to go beyond what we as analysts can provide to you guys. We could be giving you scientific advice. We could be giving you all the data. But truth be told here, I want to see Blacklist International get pushed to the edge. I want to see Apbren, to get pushed to the very edge. I'm hoping that maybe today we might see Haji hit that stage one more time.
Hey, you know what? Today has been 3-0s. Maybe this time, this will be a 3-2. Now we got to look at both teams. This is the lower bracket finals. Emotions is going to play a big part in this game, as well as how are they going to handle the pressure, the crowd, the world stage. We're going for a video where we're going to look at how is the pressure of going through the M5 World Championship in the lower brackets.
The lower bracket, the dangerous pit where teams must survive. Losing the match equals elimination.
The people for the side of Bren Esports has 4 missed goals, and they just finished it.
We didn't expect to lose against Burmese Goals. We were like very confident that time, but they defeated us 2-0. So when we got to lower bracket, it's like all the matches were like do or die. So we were really pressured.
Sensui trying to bend. The base is getting lower. It's been 5 games.
Unang-unang tumatak sa isip ko, parang yung M3 run namin na madalas na sinasabi nila. And then, ayun, naging lesson din sa amin nung pagkatalo namin mula sa Onyx. Na-apply namin ngayon yung mga mistakes namin at nagiging better pa.
In the past M series, 2 teams have made a successful lower bracket run and won the championship. Blacklist International and Apbren.
We found our confidence through each other. We boost each other morale. Our mindset is that we really want to win the World Championship for all the Filipinos, because before that time, Indonesia always links in the international. So we were like the first Filipino to win the international tournament.
Much like the previous M series, It's a survival of the fittest in the lower bracket.
Actually, hindi ko naiisip na nasa lower bracket kami. Kumbaga, one at a time talaga. Kasi kapag inisip ko nasa lower bracket ka, parang yung iba panghinaan ng loob kasi isang ano na lang, isang buhay na lang or kinakabahan, ganun. Para sa akin, pag naglalaro kami, wala. All in talaga every game.
Just like our run on MPL ID, we're always down 2-0. We are in the lower bracket, but we're still fighting. At the end of the day, every game have an impact. So we just have to do our best every game, each game.
For teams that fall short, it would be another one-year wait before redemption.
Everything is the kitchen sink to send the home ground.
I feel pretty sad about the lose, considering we already lost to the upper bracket 0-3 before to a Indonesian team, and then we lost to Blacklist also 0-3. It's pretty sad, but now I understand that what I did this time just wasn't enough. But I'm looking to win the next M series that I go to for sure.
This time, Blacklist International is one step away from reliving their success in M3.
I'm very happy and proud of my team because we've come this far. Especially it's our first season being a 5-man of Blacklist, and I'm just really happy and super proud of my team for coming this far. I think we're very happy right now and very confident that we can reach grand finals.
In the upper bracket, the same can be said for Apbren. After failing to secure top 2, this next match would be their last hope. In this lower bracket final, it is a clash of the best. Who will get the ticket to the grand final? Who will be better than great?
It all comes down to this. M-Series hopefuls across the board, one has to go home, and it's a PH versus PH lower bracket final. What is up, guys? On behalf of Renmar, it's us, the Wee Bear Bros, Naisu, Leo, Wolf. How we feeling?
It's my first time on the desk, and I'm glad to be at your service for this best of 5 between the two Filipino teams that we have crowned over the past few years. The stakes have never been higher.
I feel great. I'm seeing everybody here at the stadium, and everybody's just very happy, very excited about what's going to happen. It's just sad that it's a lower bracket Filipino, all-Filipino final, but it is what it is. MLBB action.
That's how it has to be, right? But before we talk about the matchup, of course, we have to thank our sponsors. The M5 World Championship is powered by Moonton, presented by Kadia, supported by ROG, the official gaming phone, Grab, the official Super App partner, Secret Lab, our official chair partner. Thank you to all our sponsors. M5 would not be possible without all of your support.
Special shout out as well to our global presenting partner, Kadia. Kadia is a giga project, a city that is being built in Saudi Arabia. It is the future capital of entertainment, sports, and culture.
And there's more. For all you guys, once again, watching at home or watching with us here, the M5 Pass, it's still ongoing. Unlock the Yuzhong M5 exclusive Dragon Shade skin, the Prime Cosmic Dragon skin. When you buy the M5 Pass, you can accomplish all the activities to get level 75 for free, of course. So there's tons of M5 exclusive rewards waiting for you and your friends. Don't forget, you can gift the pass as well. Gentlemen, in just moments, we will be getting ready for this matchup. I feel like, Wolf, you mentioned some people were hoping, once again for the Filipino versus Filipino grand final. Well, this time we don't get that, right? We have it in the lower bracket final.
But we're sure that the Filipino team will be there at the grand finals anyways. For right now, we're going to get the best out of our region and then pit it against the best of Indonesia.
It's bittersweet, this matchup right here. But again, we get the treat that we were looking for early, a night sooner.
Can't wait to see it unfold, but before that, and before we welcome the teams, let's go ahead and welcome out our marshals once again for tonight to officiate the M5 World Championship. We have, of course, our marshals making their way onto the stage. They're here to ensure the fairness and integrity of the games for, once again, Ivan, Wilbert, Patrick, and Shun. These guys have been doing an outstanding job leading us through, and now, quick to get back on their feet after a sweep from the Sky Kings. The Bees take flight, hoping to break a code that they've once cracked and return to the M-Series Grand Final stage. Hive, rise, and buzz for the epic comeback of Apbren.
The process that they started a year ago. Since July, this roster has developed so much, and here they are, wanting to take it a step further.
And their opponents, after a flawless victory earlier today, the Code Breakers are all in to finish their lower bracket run and secure their third consecutive Grand Final M-Series appearance. Agents break the code for Blacklist International!
In hand, a trophy they won in Singapore years ago. They found their form, and really, did we ever leave the age of black?
And of course, to guide the teams to victory, the minds behind it all for Apbren, Coach Ducky, Coach Brendan for Blacklist International, Coach Master the Basics, and Coach Dexstar. As they get prepped and ready for this lineup, how are we feeling? What are we thinking here in terms of the approach to this series?
The last time we saw these two teams clash with the same gravity, with the same significance, was in EVM about a couple months ago. And then it was Apbren who came up on top. But now it's all on the line. No holds barred. The only team that leaves this matchup with a dub is the only team that can go for that two-time world championship.
We're gonna see exactly who that is, but real quick, Apbren, let's reintroduce him once again. Super Marco, Kyle Teasy, Flap Teasy, Few, and Ogwin.
And we know for sure that they wanted to get back to the grand finals, have another date against Onyx Esports, but right now, for the third time, at least this year, or this half of the year, we're gonna be looking towards fighting against Blacklist International. And Apbren, for sure, we know that this is a team that's really, really strong, right? It seems like Onyx Esports just had their number earlier, but now they have to get back on their feet.
They got to make a quick adjustment, right? They have to, again, after that sweep, and really just focusing on the objectives they have to focus on to approach the game. Now, once again, Blacklist International, we saw them earlier today come out with a win. It's Oheb, Sensui, Edward, Yue, and Renajay. This lineup has improved so much over these months alone.
Everything they've done throughout their lower bracket run, starting yesterday with the very aggressive Geek Fam, they figured that out. Against Daewoo's Devi Gaming, they figured that out. Now against their nemesis, the rivals from MPL Philippines Season 12, they have to evolve even more. They have to rewrite the code once again, and I think they can do it. All the more that they've got a fresh start. Again, they won with a 3-0. They got the rest, they got the break. Going up against Apbren, I think they watched that match very closely.
Very important to watch that match, as well as how they recover, right? For Apbren, are you looking at their stats? So far, they have been leading almost all of the basic stats that we have. KDA, damage per minute, gold per minute. But when it comes to the hero pool, Blacklist International have one more hero above Apbren. I'm curious to see if there will be a lot of experiments for this best of 5 series. I think that because it's so important, you kind of don't want to experiment anymore. You're going to be bringing out the big guns. Maybe we can skip the Odettes. Maybe we can skip the Florins. You know? All of these heroes that do not look like they can win the games against each other.
Yeah, again, Odette was a big point of talk, I guess, from the last series that we saw, and it didn't work out, right? But that's not to say that, you know, if you want to go with some experimentation, at least in game one, I would say game one. If you want to approach it that way, go for it. Again, whoever starts on the right foot here, that's where we see momentum. And given the fact that, as well, Apbren being massively ahead and struggling. Oh, by the way,
whoa,
we know who he's supporting. Oh, Renajay.
By God, I didn't think this would be the day I would see a Kosi Doggy wearing a Blacklist International jersey.
Wow, that's support. That's the support, of course. I mean, like, this is surprising, and of course, I mean, come on.
This, what do we call this support? What do we? The all Filipino desk. What do we do?
Yeah.
There's no prediction here.
I'm happy that Lafel also joined us.
I didn't even notice that. He did.
He did join us.
Only Gideon went 3-2 with Apbren.
All right.
In a stadium full of agents, I wouldn't dare predict.
Yeah.
Hey, there's one thing. At least you can't say we're biased, right? I mean, these are two Filipino teams. So.
Hey. You're right.
It's clear who my favorite players are, but when it comes down to the competition, we call it down the wire.
Yeah, and you know, really, when we talk about these two teams, exactly how they fall into place here for the lower bracket final, there's a lot of things that you could point out, right, in their journey up to this point. But I think, yeah, you guys pretty much pointed it out. You had a lot of time to kind of readjust, refine things, get things situated.
Now, how quick can you make that adjustment, right? From their kind of varying series earlier that they've had. That's kind of what is up to play here between both of them. And of course, we can always talk about the draft, the individual skill level when it comes lane to lane, you know, how that comparison goes. But even for me, I would really focus even in the mid lane, right? One of the the matchup here, Few versus Yue. And I know they mentioned this earlier, the fact that maybe Haji comes in, but still, I think Yue's been doing an amazing job up to this point. Do you feel like he's at his peak to be able to go and match up against Few right now?
At his peak, maybe I cannot answer that. I'm pretty sure that he is on an upward trajectory when it comes to his improvements. Like when we saw Yue perform in MSC, we were so impressed. And then MPLPH Season 12, we are equally impressed. And now the M5 World Stage, he is performing so well. So I don't know if that's the peak anymore, but I'm sure that it's an upward trajectory for Mr. Yue.
Again, in the metagame that is filled with Lilia, Valentina, and Faramis, Yue is a part of that argument. But consider this. Few has been playing this game. Few has been a part of this ecosystem, MLBB Sports, even before it was established. Yue is likely one of the kids who would call him his idol.
For sure.
So best believe this meeting here in the lower bracket, in the finals, in this M5 world stage, it's fated. It's destiny.
Destiny or not, we're going to find out here. Jumping into the draft. Game number 1 in this best of 5 lower bracket final. Blacklist International, Apbren, prepped and ready once again, going through the ringer up to this point. They've got another obstacle ahead of them, and we'll see how things fall into place once again. Ban-wise, a little bit, you know, difference here, but a lot of familiarity as well. Fredrin, Valentina taking out Baksha for Apbren on the blue. Over on the red, we have Blacklist International taking out the Guinevere, the Joy, the Nolan.
Bruno as well as Faramis open for Blacklist International. You don't want to, obviously you don't want to give the Valentina to Yue, because how strong he is. Matilda now being picked up by Apbren now, Ready J special for sure. Now they will get the Akai, the winning hero that they used when they went up against Geek Fam Indonesia, quickly banned and sorted out by Daewoo, but that did not net them the series victory anyways. So I'm thinking like Bruno Akai here for Blacklist. Oh, Lilia.
Okay. Lilia picked up. This is something that, I mean, she is priority, but oftentimes, you know, you don't see this exactly right now. Is this a smart choice? Pick up the Lilia and the Kai for now, and all you see is the Matilda?
For sure. It's a US special. You know for sure that the Faramis is going to be a consideration for Apbren, as well as your typical marksman. There's consideration of getting the 1-1 now, but knowing Apbren, after seeing what they saw in the previous series, maybe they might just go for the Claude instead for this particular slot.
Coach Dieb did do well to cover up their bases, denied the Claude very often, but it looks like it doesn't matter. Again, if it's open and you have that mid lane trio to activate the 1-1, make Super Marco's lane a little easier to hit and get online, then by all means.
It's going to be the Claude immediately answered by Blacklist International. I think at this stage of the tournament, this is what you may notice. There will be only 3 heroes that they may be picking up in the marksman role. The 1-1, the Bruno, and the Claude. They're just going to be shuffling between those 3 heroes because they need to win the games. Like, obviously, the Brodies, your Brodies, your Beatrix, they can win you games, right? But when it comes to like winning an entire series, you have to get to those all reliable carry heroes.
Yeah, it's funny too, because when you look at it, right, even in the previous series, you saw how much focus was on Super Marco's lane, right? It was choked out to the point where, once again, he was so far behind in terms of the gold-to-gold matchup in the gold lane that it really, you know, stopped them from doing what they had to do to stay in that game. And so that can be a similar game plan here. But once again, those picks locked in, we have to focus on the XP lane, right? The impact lane right now is currently in the M5. It plays a huge role here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like Lapu-Lapu or Kali, these heroes that are played in a role where you're an XP lane, but you're also an assassin in a way, right? But at the same time, the Terizla should be a consideration for both teams, since the Terizla is a hero that's good against the Claude, good against the 1-1 as well. And I like the fact that Apbren will be denying sustained heroes now, because that is what 1-1 doesn't want to face.
So now I'm wondering, do they allow the Minotaur? The Minotaur is still out there. If both teams are looking for an XP laner, it's very clear that Blacklist actually need a roamer. You have to activate a Yue. You have to allow for them to, again, be ready for these false collapses, fall away team fights, fade away team fights. So I'm wondering if that's going to be possible with what's left on the board after Coach Ducky and Coach Bren are done banning.
Well, there's the Khalid, as we talked about. You know, it's been making waves, or sand waves, if you will, throughout M5, of course.
Love it.
Thank you. Let's see if this last ban is actually that Minotaur, because I think one of the questions is, you know, Hitman becoming the heel man. There's been a mixture of his own playstyle so far. Is Minotaur that answer for Apbren to ban out?
Or the Rafaela,
Rafaela?
maybe.
Either
will be great. And obviously the Minotaur is a hero that Claude doesn't want to face. That means that if it is let go, Blacklist are going to be inclined to pick that up, their fourth pick. Or maybe they, maybe the answer is have Edward be the flex hero, or the hero that will have the complete answers, which is the traditional trajectory for Blacklist International. Good call.
There it is. Yep. Going to be banned out once again. Minotaur taking another picture alongside that Estes pick. So, heel man, what's left for him? You know,
Rafaela.
Rafaela. That's about
Rafaela and Tigreal, perhaps.
We don't want to mention the Florin.
Nope, that's a bad word.
Okay.
For now, at least. Again, Florin hasn't been performing very well here in the world stage. Looking at Blacklist again, I agree. Maybe Flex Edward.
Yeah.
The Arlo hasn't been banned yet.
Arlo.
The Arlo.
Yeah.
Arlo is pretty solid.
Yeah, Renegade also likes that.
You overload the CC.
Yep.
You overload the Purify.
It has a combo with Akai as well. Very good. Well done.
Well done. It's picked up here.
I know my Abunjingjing. I know my Hitmans.
Makes sense though, right? I mean, go ahead and pick it up. It also helps you kind of deal with if there's the instance where, you know, you have your guiding winds to kind of play against and the movement speed and everything else from Apbren, at least you have another option, right? But still, you got to work around, once again, the heavy spin, being able to find out these lockdowns yourself. So what are the next two responses here?
There could be a Minotaur for the side of Apbren, as well as the, maybe a
banned out.
It's banned out. Oh, it is. I think Tigreal.
Tigreal, there you go.
For,
another.
For Oakwin. At the same time, maybe they want to go Kaja instead.
Oh, but Kaja has very low win rate.
Yeah.
But the thing is, okay.
Whoa.
Because Blacklist International can pick up a Diggy in their last pick.
So this is like that, sort of that double mage setup. Once again, you know, you have the Matilda, you have the Novaria, right? Working together this time around. And so what's the answer here from Blacklist?
I'm thinking Diggy, in fact, because it's a hero that will really just solve the problems for Blacklist International. They can like group up, especially because they already have the Arlot as well as the Akai anyways. Maybe a safer route could be the Tigreal for Mr. Renegade.
Yeah, one or the other. The other is more defensive, but more proactive when it comes to vision. The other can turn around fights.
Oh, wow.
They pick up
How about neither?
We've kind of forgot about Angela.
I would have thought that Apbren would have taken that instead of the Novaria, because that's a good combo. But then, Angela Claude, classic combo as well. It's almost like a Diggy. Well, the Diggy helps you survive the crowd control, but the Angela allows for you to just tank up. And it has a great combo with the Claude anyways.
Interesting. It's going to be really the execution factor here as we look at both of these lineups working certain ways from the early game. Of course, the transition, the rotations, very important here. And I gotta say too, man, the Akai performance so far from Sensui has been on point. Is Kyle Teasy ready to match up once again as we get ready to load up into game one here, the lower bracket final, Apbren, Blacklist International. The agents are here, the Hive is here. Which one will pull through in the series as we start game one?
Looking out for these early rotations. Again, both teams have been on the receiving end and the aggressive end of these early starts. Sensui on the purple, Kyle starting up orange. Bit of a kite for black.
And obviously, when it comes to the Lord fights, it's going to be another classic retreat battle. Fortunately for the Martis, he does have the crowd control immunity. And Oakwin, interestingly, only picked up didn't have the EXP earlier on. But anyways, he's trying to mind fight in the middle.
Yeah. Again, pressure like early on this point, you know, at this point, it could change the course of the early game at least. Real quick though, emblems, anything sticking out besides all this poke?
Well, Nothing much, really. Maybe this Master Assassin on the 1-1, perhaps. This is the first time probably that you see this. Typically, you go firmness or tenacity, right? But he went for the Master Assassin.
Uh-oh, Oakland in the back, drawing first blood underneath tier 2 as Yue was trying to recall home.
That's what I was saying, man. You know, when you put on the pressure early on, it can change the course of this early game, especially talking about a lot of this rotation for both these teams. Still the focus. Apbren wants to keep the pressure going, even against Sensui, right? Try to get any lead that you can work around, especially that first objective, the turtle. A lot of the teams here against Apbren, sometimes they find it out, sometimes they let it slip through. But I feel like Blacklist International, they want to just go ahead, contest all these things, right?
Yep.
Give it up to them the best they can, try to win these early fights if they can. Now, typically, Wolf, when we see the Angela pop through, it's a little more passive, right? The play style here. And even the variation, we've seen Angela's pick up focusing Mark. This time around, it's not. It's the Imperial Rage.
I guess the idea for Blacklist International is to go classic Ube. Wait for 7 minutes, wait for 8 minutes, and then fight afterwards.
Here we go. Turtle already up. Slight pull for Apbren. Heavy spin spent out by Sensui already. Edward flickering on up. Kyle Teasy pops him with a decimate. Renegade flickering on through. There's a puppet on the strings. Apbren putting up bodies in between them and Blacklist. Turtle scored. Apbren.
Great force out coming out from Flap TC, forcing the heavy spin while only using his flicker. He can get back to the fight. Then, we know for sure that Cal TZ had a micro objective battle against Sensui the Lizard, where they had a retry battle that favored Cal TZ eventually. That meant that Kyle TZ had easier access to level 5, and Sensui not having the heavy spin and a level disadvantage, he just decided, I will not fight.
Yeah, I feel like as your Blacklist International here, and you're working against, let's say, the lineup of Apbren, right? The tools that they have vision, they have utility in terms of mobility, right, with the Matilda pick. That's really what's going to favor them early on. Once again, as Blacklist International tries to build up here, trying to buy some time, of course, that's the thing with Claude, right? You need to be able to build up on this Claude real quick as items are falling into place.
Yep.
Anything here happening, Wolf, sticking out?
Maybe the defense is going to be important. Sensui, interestingly, will try to fight this purple. Gets it, actually.
Yep, spends his retribution. Yashra Echoes spots a few. Sensui displaced, forcing a heavy spin. Circling Eagle knocking up 2. 3 members of Blacklist push back into their jungle.
Wow.
A disengage.
Yeah, they get out with it.
He gets away with it. Literally just walking in front of the members of Apbren, gets out with the help of his teammates. And then all of a sudden he equalized, because I was just about to say that Blacklist International kind of needs to secure levels onto Sensui, which means that they need to secure the jungle again. The fact that they got a purple buff away from Apbren, that's pretty massive in terms of their recovery.
Gentlemen, I can't believe it. He committed Grand Theft Purple with 0 punishment. Now up top, Renegade in trouble. Circling Eagle committed by Ogwin.
Wow.
That's enough damage. Kyle TZ using the decimate. Now it's Oheb's turn. BMI on out. Staying underneath his turret. Apbren pushing the advantage. Going up about 2,000 gold ahead. Super Marco looking to take to the skies. Blazing Duet versus the crossbow Tang. Marco wins.
Oh, that's tough, right? You blazing duet, but unfortunately, you can't shoot up too much into the air there with the airtime. Now, once again, Turtle going to be up here, second one of the game. Blacklist in position.
It was all horizontal. We need to go vertical. Edward gets a hard guard in him. The hitman healing him up. Not enough. Ogwin gets the kill. Turtle still standing, down to a fifth of its health. Blacklist International with the pull. Kyle Easy coming in with the steal. Sensui backing off. Still has a heavy spin in check. They disengage, losing 100%, going over to AP.
Great decision from Apbren to turn onto heroes first, as they have found an opening onto Edward. You can say that Renegade's usage of the ultimate might have been a second too late. That meant that even after the shields, the damage output of Apbren was enough, and then the retry battle won by Kyle TZ. It's definitely Apbren's early game now.
Yeah, speaking of early game, once again, at this point in the game, you're nearly 4K ahead. Blacklist International, the way they want to adjust to this is, again, buy some time, let scaling happen here. But still also, the other thing as well is Yue, right? Usually when you see these Lilias, they pop out a ton of damage, but he's going to kind of have to wait for that. He has to wait for some of these setups to happen, which is on the shoulders right now of mostly Edward with his Arlot pick. But you can see Apbren just not really given a chance for them to breathe, right? They want to continue on.
Super Marco putting quite a bit of damage onto Oheb. Apbren have done more than just checking. in terms of an MMA fight, they've been stepping forward, looking for these feints, looking for these sweeps, and that's what explains his 5K gold lead, 5-0 at 6. And even if Blacklist got a solid haymaker, a solid check under the chin, stealing a purple, Apbren didn't even need it.
Yeah. Like RTC is in the zone right now, I would say. The way that he utilizes the ultimate is always pixel perfect. You wouldn't think that it will be enough to get kills, but so far his 2 kills were well-calculated usage of the Decimate.
Ooh, few hits, swiping away Kyle Teasy, putting Sensui down, half health, Hogan pushing them back. This mid lane in tier 1 is the only one standing left for Apbren in a slow assault.
So given this situation, we're seconds away here from the last turtle of the game. Is Blacklist International better just giving this up? Wolf, let it be. Just give it up, get ready for the Lord.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can defend by not dying, go for that. But if they will lose more in defending turrets or defending like turtles, it's absolutely not going to be worth it. Sensui might try to go for this, but Kyle is level 10 and he gets poked. That's it.
Yeah. That's 3 spotted. Sensui used the heavy spin, pinning Super Marco, dashing on through, clearing it off, cleansing it. Edward in trouble, taking to the skies with the
Wow.
Gonna go in, and there it is. Bucko Tang jumping through. Yue gets popped by Flapteasy, knocking him out behind tier 2. And with that, Apbren forced the advantage. Couple of kills, plus a turtle.
Still going to be putting the pressure there in the mid lane. We'll get the tier 1. But that was Sensui starting that, trying to get a possible steal if he could, but just completely zoned out because right now that is the difference, that gold, that economy in favor of Apbren right now.
The Filipino cannon! Popping away, putting him into 1/10 of his health. What was that?
Ooh, that is Snowball, ladies and gentlemen, with the deadly blade. Or the Sea Halberd, I mean.
All the way.
All the way for Flapteasy. No defense items whatsoever. He wants to go for the quick annihilation, knowing full well that Oheb does only have a sprint. Later on, with the sprint being popped, his flicker will be even more deadly. Now, flicker combo against Oheb will be going to be difficult to deal with later on.
That's the thing, too. You see how many items there are from Apbren to deal with that sustainability, you know, from the Angela pick. There's 3 now on them. They're all ready to pretty much fight in these skirmishes, and that's why, once again, the Heart Guard really hasn't had much of an impact, right? They continue to whittle down, and then when the Heart Guard's supposed to be there, it's not providing enough healing because of the itemization from Apbren. They further the lead. Sensui, though, will be able to get the orange as he backs off once again. Blacklist really trying to hold on to any of the real estate they can on their side of the map, but right now, you can see the power of this lead.
Yeah, definitely. Even Apbren just taking over the jungle of Blacks International, they can't do anything about it. But fortunately, Sensui had the guts to use the Retribution, steals it away. Look at that Astral Spear hitting onto 2, putting them at below 50% HP with just 1 shot. Oh!
Again, right? This is why Novaria, for the longest time, has been prioritized, right? Vision, poke potential, increasing the hitbox even, and now with everything, Apbren's going to be able to go ahead and just grab themselves this Lord as well. Blacklist International still not positions to really deal with this. UA just picking up the Ice Queen wand here. Yeah. They're very far behind in terms of itemization. Super Marco picking up a big defensive item pickup, the Wind of Nature.
I gotta say though, this is not the first time the Blacklist International were put in this very bad spot.
That's right.
Just yesterday, they overcame what, a 10K gold lead, 12K gold lead? And now, they have the heroes to actually win this game. They have the Claude Angela, Lilia for the defense, and Akai for a win condition pin down.
If you're talking about lessons, Wolf, Apbren had a same lead.
That's true.
A massive lead. So now they're pushing the advantage. They're getting on the offensive because they have to.
Exactly.
They have to. So either way, once again, Blacklist International still could hold on much longer. It is only 10.5 minutes in. They got to make quick work of the Lord top side. They have the tools to stay in the game, at least extended. Oheb also has to be very careful on this approach. You can see as well, damage is there. They're going to deal with the Lord here.
Astral Echo thrown out, spotting 3. This is an odd and awkward position for an Angela. They don't like being in the front lines like this. Ogwin setting it up, looking for that circling eagle, waiting for it to go off of cooldown, does not engage. A successful defense by Black.
That will inflate Apbren's lead to 9.8K. but it will not end the game yet. What they can do right now is just clear out the jungle, make sure that Blacklist International will have to group up and just stay for scraps, just dividing all of those gold that they get from the minions that are incoming and not get any more from the jungle creeps.
Well, they deal with these shots here. Once again, looking at the items, you can see, right, Oheb needs a lot of time. He's only got the Demon Hunter Sword. He's got the Golden Staff here. Most likely will be able to grab the Wind of Nature next. But still, that's the thing, right? Working alongside the fact that you are down this far behind, the approach you have to take is you got to be kind of cautious, careful. Ogwin constantly putting the pressure here with the Circling Eagle for Blacklist International, and that's why the positioning is so important. Even looking across the map, looking at the positioning of Apbren, they want to punish a misstep from Blacklist International to possibly end the game early, right? They don't want to extend it too far. They go for Sensui. He's at the front, but he's going to be fine. The pokes come through, though.
Something about Few here in game number 1 tells me he's in it to win it. He's been catching Blacklist International with 4-man, 5-man Astral Recalls on a constant basis. 12 minutes in, I think there have been 4 or 5 big ticket ults from this Novaria. Yeah. And it's going to help with the check. It's going to help make this 22nd Lord coming up all the more important because the turn is going to be almost impossible for Blacklist.
See Edward now picking up the Radiant Armor, much needed. And one thing that I noticed, how Blacklist International plays so far than stage 2 of knockouts, Renjay never leaves Oheb's side. But this time, picking up the Angela means that you actually can leave Oheb behind.
Ooh, left easy, playing footsies, checking who else is with Edward here. Spots Renjay in the back, throwing out a Circling Eagle, they back out.
Again, I think at this point still, given the difference here, yeah, the Retro is going to be used, so I don't feel like they actually want to go ahead and fight. Obviously, this Lord, Apbren's got that information as well. They can go ahead and clear this.
Going for the blitz, slight pull. Apbren with a clear lead, melting the Lord down to a 5th, a 6th, an 8th, a 10th. Clearly, Apbren in control here. 10K ahead, 7-0, 13 minutes in.
Ogwin does not find him. And a very nice idea coming up from Apbren. They forced the Retribution, and knowing full well that the Blacklist International didn't have the Retribution too, that means that they could fight, couldn't fight around the Lord area. That's a quick take coming up from Apbren. How good is their push though? You're gonna see, as they're slowly pushing the middle, they're kind of freezing it so that all of the lanes will come up together. Unfortunately, the bottom lane is gonna go first.
Well, you know, Edward using the final slash, so still, they got to deal with the lanes. Lord now on the top side. Apbren wants to get these base turrets down. It's going to start up top.
Another big 5-man lateral Astral Echo. The pull, the dash, the jump. Edward moving on through. Agent Zero. Spell tapping through. Forcing out of Black Shoes. Flapped easy. Taking a few hits there. Inside the base now. The Blazing Duet coming in. Edward popped, dropped, and not going to be able to stop this push from Apbren. 13K ahead, barreling through. Up next on the docket, bottom lane. Blacks International going to be able to defend, clear that wave. Only one inhibitor falls.
They hold on to at least a little bit longer. Bottom turret, 1 hit away here. But Blacklist International, you can see they're starting to get the damage online, especially for Oheb. But can they hold on longer?
The jump in. Another Black Shoes, a heavy spin. Pinning down Flapteezy. Gonna take him down. But Sensui pays the iron price. Marco taking down an inhibitor in mid. Down bottom as well. Sensui. Sensui's not here to half through and split these waves. But it looks like he's gonna slow down. Unless Apbren waiting for a wave in mid. The Astral Echo spots the 4 remaining members of Black. The Circling Eagle. Oh! Good eye sniper. Few finds 1. 3 defenders left underneath the base. There's a solid wave. Renjay coming through. Heart Guard is going to be enough. Easy wailing away at the base. Oheb goes down. Few pops him. And now the base stands alone with 2 members of Black, 1 member of Black. No more. It's a wipeout. Apbren takes game 1.
And it looks like they've adjusted very quickly from the previous series. They came out swinging in a decisive game number 1. They take this game, they take the series 1-0.
If you look back at that game, there's no overextension, no overheating coming out from Apbren. Very disciplined, getting all of those OP heroes that we have, the 1-1. And getting the Matilda as well, very strong combo. Martes coming up from Galtizi just on point, no mistakes, well-calculated usage of the Decimate. And then, of course, Few on the Novaria. Still you know, with the hawk eye, or eagle eye view is there.
It was on point, right? Again,
point.
why they love to take that Novaria, but we'll leave it to, what was that, the Malaysian brothers over there on the panelist stand. Go ahead and break down this game number 1.
Thank you very much to our Filipino brothers on the desk, where I gotta say, looking at this game, amazing performance coming in from Apbren, where Ogwen as well as Few, in my personal opinion, created a lot of space, and Kyle Teasy was there to execute whenever a member is low, or the moment when Blacklist International tried to stay a little bit longer. I would say the space control coming in from Apbren was splendid.
Absolutely, but that's not all, right? When we look at Blacklist International's overall style of composition, truly, is it an all for one, or is it a one for all? And it definitely felt like it was based to play around their mid as well as their gold laner here. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Apbren, solid game through and through from draft all the way to the finish. I'm pretty sure we both know who the MVP of this game is going to be.
Well, with that being said, we're going to look at the MVP of this game. The MVP is going over to Ogwen, where again, like I said, the way that he controlled the space, I got to say, the members of Apbren, they're very free to walk around everywhere because Ogwen is poking, Ogwen is figuring out where everyone is. He's an enabler, and he enables everything.
All around a nice guy, man. I mean, that's the thing with Matilda. It's not like Grok where it's an emphasis of your opponent's mistakes. It gives you the confidence to make plays, make a mistake, and it'll be totally fine, especially if Ogwen is going to be on your side with this Matilda to save you at the end of the day. And I think it's even more emphasized once we start jumping into the highlights.
Yeah, we're going to look at the highlights where, again, the way that Apbren played around, it all starts around the Riverside because they're making sure that Blacklist International has a clear line on the ground that you can't move forward. And we got to say, Ogwen, again, moving around, giving space, giving vision, but I want to talk about Few as well. Few also giving vision, but more so giving the damage, making it so that before the fight even starts, it's not a good idea to engage.
Well, I mean, there was a couple of problems, right? We're hoping that Renegade is able to keep everybody topped up, clean, but the laning phase was absolutely ruined so fast into the game. And that's where you see this huge wave of momentum coming out from the side of Apbren, especially around types of fights where you're hoping that, at least for Oheb, he's put back enough time, 3 minutes worth of time, that they're not able to get to their eventual power spike.
I feel like we got to jump on what Wolf said as well on the pick and bans coming in from Apbren, where the draft coming in from Apbren is super solid, where they got a lot of S-tier heroes, the Matilda, the 1-1, even the Novaria, even though it's like not number 1 or number 2, but again, a very solid hero.
Very good considerations overall, and yes, initially you're thinking about lane priority. You're thinking about ways to kind of control the lanes, right? Have ways to move together as a team, which is very much like Blacklist International wants to play. However, when you have strong laners, and more importantly, once we start looking at some of these post-game stats, let's look at the emblems and keep in mind, this is not a normal thing that we usually see. Usually it's from the Cambodian side, right? Super Marco taking Master Assassin, but not only that, Flapteezy deciding to take that as well. They were looking to hurt their lane as much as they could.
Yeah, I kind of feel like on all fronts, Blacklist International was not having a comfortable game because, again, looking at how they've been moving around the map, where I kind of feel like, I remember one time when Sensui was using the heavy spin down at the bottom side of the turtle, and then Flapteezy was able to flicker out of that. After that, it looked like Blacklist International had no way to get into the fight because their idea is to scale onto Oheb, let Oheb do a lot of damage when it comes to the late game, especially because they have the Lilia as well as the Claude. They should be able to get to that stage of the game, but again, the early game, brutal.
Absolutely, right? And it's emphasized more once you start looking at the laners who did get ahead, like Super Marco. How do you catch him exactly, right? You have ways to break his inbuilt Purify, but at the same time, you have no real means of locking him down. Worst yet, when you have Ogwen to supplement that as well, it becomes almost impossible to find that lockdown. He basically gets to play the game for free, dash around as much as he likes, and not really get punished for it at all. And let's not forget about Flapteezy, the fact that he's able to build full damage and get away with it, especially when you're up against an Arlite, is one thing to behold, but at the same time, nobody on the side of Blacklist International is looking to punish him.
Let me tell you, Gideon, I feel like this is their idea, where they're like, you know what? Just now it didn't go well. So this game, we chose violence. Speaking of violence, you were talking about Flapteezy here having full damage items. I really feel like in this composition, they want to make sure that Blacklist International, they don't get to play their tempo. Because Blacklist, just like what Wolf said, wait to the 7 to the 8 minute of the game where they can start grouping up, where they can start moving as a unit. They just break them up. They force Blacklist International to go into 1v1 5-man style.
Yeah, and that's the best part, right? It gets really, really messy in these types of fights. And based on the items that we're seeing, that Blacklist is playing the atypical style, hey, we got to slow it down. We need to scale. We need to play around OHEB with losing lanes and not to mention neutral objectives that are basically just a free fight for Apbren. It really begs the question, was this the right choice when they walked into the draft of looking to put Renegade once again on an Angela, make him the heel man when he's really the hit man?
Well, we gotta look at the rich guy super marker, 896 gold per minute to carry, few 82,000 damage dealt. Sandbag Sensui 113,000 damage taken. Looking at this game, I kind of feel like this is what Apbren have cooked up specifically for Blacklist. We're gonna look at the damage dealt here, and this is why I want to talk about Ogwen as well as Few doing a lot for the team. Even though Ogwen is the roamer, he's doing quite a lot of poke damage, the same thing as Few, making it so that Blacklist, as a team that is full of discipline, they have a rough idea how much HP they need to move forward. So as long as they keep Blacklist International under a certain threshold, making it so that they're not going to be able to move in front, I feel like that's the name of the game. Just get them low enough so that they can't do anything.
And I love the way that you put it, the threshold that needs to be put. If you look at the damage taken, we're looking at the people who got it the worst. And obviously, Sensui is a prime target, taking 100% of the Team 5 participations. But worst yet, what about Edward? He was already struggling in lane, and not to mention that he will always have to come in second to last during these fights, and yet still have the responsibility to set this fight up, maybe even sometimes clean it up.
The way that I see it is like Blacklist International, they want to have steps. They want to have a ladder. Apbren went to the second step, crushed it, making sure that you cannot connect the first and the third spot. So I kind of feel like Blacklist, they got to see this coming for the next match. Whatever their draft is, they got to make sure that their side laners, the EXP as well as the gold lane, is going to be a little bit more comfortable, especially because Master Assassins on both lanes, that's innovation, man. Even I haven't thought of that. We haven't seen a lot of that in this M5.
We don't know whether it's going to be the most efficient way to play the game, but it definitely gives us an indication that they want to win their lanes harder than possible. And it helps when you have
Where does... Forcing a cluster!
Welcome to Mobile Legends! 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
If you like weirdo,
First blood!
it's not.
Victory!
Mid lane to
The double switch. Or maybe a Kaja.
It could work.
It could work.
This point in time, I mean, there's so many options left available to you, and that's one of the beauties of the draft right now. The meta, right? Like the flexibility. The flexibility that of you have, I mean, even when you're talking about Apbren, the Fredrin necessarily, you know, it could actually go in the hands of you in the mid lane, right? That could have happened if maybe even the Fairness didn't pop up. But that's the power play here for Apbren as they get up for their last pick.
It would be crazy, like they pick up eventually an assassin, right? For Apbren, maybe a Lancelot.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, because there's no catch from Blacklist International.
That's right. Their CC is hard set.
Yeah. They go Paquito. It's going to be a standard.
So that's it. We read into it. The young Ogen Onigo is actually playing the Arlot here.
Yep. The idea for the Paquito is obviously instant eliminations again.
Yeah.
Maybe the only thing that you might be afraid of if you're looking for the Paquito this time is there's the Matilda. And Red J was phenomenal with this Matilda when it comes to saving Oheb. You can see them in this game. Expect them to be holding hands together by the park.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen so many times in this game. Red J, Oheb, just trying to save each other.
I think that's where they shine, right? A lot of times if they can keep Oheb alive, and this can be any for gold lanes for the teams here. But once again, we're gonna load up here in the land of Dawn, Blacklist International, Apbren. It's 1-0 right now in favor of Apbren. Can Blacklist even the odds right now in this best of 5 here?
5 seconds till the enemy reaches
Facing
the
off
battlefield.
against Apbren. Given what happened in game 1, they have to get the momentum started. They can start it here with the lineup that they have. They have drafted. This is Edward once again on this Edith pick that he's made work with before very well. As we take a look at the rotations here for both teams, getting us situated into the early game here, Wolf.
Martis should be looking for the snowballs, while Fredrin needs to just farm all the time. Just make sure that no matter what happens, your enemy Martis will not have the snowball potential against you. So that means Ogwin, though, with the reset, should be pretty good. Every second counts at this point.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get that. And real quick, too, since we got poking happening here, emblems, how's it looking, Leo?
So far, the fact that Blacks International invested so much in the Quantum Charge means they want to be fast on their feet. And again, the trademark boots, at least 2 Wilderness Blessings. Oh wait, give me a sec here. The Hitman, down to a third of his health, dashing on through using Apbren's Cyclonite. Thank you very much.
And I don't know if this is Oheb just self-correcting in game number 2, because game number 1, we saw that the 1-1 with the high-end Joy was actually pretty deadly in the laning stage. And now he goes for his own high-end Master Assassin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Say you're old without saying you're old.
Yeah,
throw it back.
Throw it back. But yeah, the Master Assassin now being available for two of the marksmen means that trading blows in the gold lane is going to be a sight to see.
Wow. Once again, the power of this, the quick rotations, right? And I think even if you look at the Quantum Chargers, the fact that they have 4 of those, they're really looking to play around speed and movement.
Talking about it, looking to duel already. Super Marco down to a 5th of his health. Oheb approaching half, sending home Super Marco. In mid though, a little scuffle as we set up for the first turtle already spawned. Apbren first of the scene, a slight pull towards their side. Ogwin and Flapteezy ready to go. Flapteezy level 4, got a few combos in, waiting to set up that champ stance. In comes Agent Zero from the flank, letting that turtle reset to mid, down to a third of its health. Ogwin dashing on through, setting it up with a spell down. Big bong from Kyle Teasy, plus the red tree securing that big objective.
Very important for Kautizi to secure that, and they managed to get it. It was a very sweaty situation, actually, to think about it. And now Kautizi making sure that he gets all of the farm early stages. That means that the Martis will be held off for a little bit. at this point, between the two junglers, EXP matters more than the gold. And you can see that apbren as well as Blacklist International, they will put a lot of effort into that.
And the other question for me here is really, what ultimate do you want to utilize if you're UA? You have a couple options here, right? Of course, you can actually take that final slash available for you. You can work around even the Nether Realm, which is usually what we're going to expect, right? Yep. You want to extend some of those fights here. But we have seen that happen as well. Valentina players taking final slash and actually using it for the setup, or even the disengage, the peel factor. Yeah. But right now, that all plays a part here. They're going to bring Oheb along to the mid.
Few with the pull. Yue compromised, forced the flicker out. That's a successful engage by apbren, wasting that huge resource.
There might even get more. Sensui found here up top.
There's a knock-up. The taunt, Sensui using the iframes. Ooh, just missing that final slash by about a meter, an inch. Rather, as Ogwin needs to wait for that cooldown.
Very nice dodge coming up from Blacklist International. And they're having fun at the top lane. Oheb is 200 gold above Super Marco. That's always a good sign. Especially after forcing Super Marco to recall out. And I think there's another tussle in the top lane. And Oheb still manages to get out. Will eventually collect some of the farm.
This is looking iffy though.
Yeah.
Oheb.
Oh no.
Big setup. That's 4 men sent. The Blazing Duet spent in already. Oheb survives for maybe a second more. Close call. Ogwin almost traded out for them. Now here comes the Hitman, knocking up 2. Kyle TZ and Few able to just walk away.
So they're able to get away, but they get that kill. Now the turtle going to be the focus here for apbren. Blacklist International though, going to try to keep things together. UA still holding on to this Nether Realm. So Flapteasy will make work down in the bottom side as Blacklist wants to contest the turtle.
That's right. 4v3. Few just about to catch up. Already Edward backing out. Guiding Winds. Primal Wrath. Big bonk plus the retribution once more securing that turtle. They got shields, but it's not going to be enough to save Ogwin. Agent Zero zeroing apbren's roamer, and the fight continues. Blacklist International pushing back Super Marco behind his tier 1. Yep.
Kautizi securing the turtle once again, despite being a level behind Sensui. And now top lane, look at the collapse from Blacklist International. They're trying to deny minions away from Super Marco, while also pushing top lane to at least equalize the farm from between Oheb as well as Super Marco. Super Marco now leads the charge just because of 1 kill up top. And what happened was the timing of apbren when they went in for the kill onto Oheb, they actually denied 1 cart, 1 catapult with extra gold, which, at the early stages of the game, it matters so much.
Yeah, not only that, but the fact that, too, the gold earned there for Flapteasy. You saw him do work. Oh, UA should be fine, still has another realm, but again, Flapteasy is going to be a threat here, right? Already has his first item locked in, will be building up on the next one, and that's where it gets a little scary because Blacklist International, the whole kind of counterplay they have to is dealing with that front burst, right? And that's why you have the Nether Realm, as we see him guiding Win on out. But still, if things can get layered properly here from Blacklist International, their fighting potential is still relatively good, despite the 1K lead that apbren has right now. And that's why you see them really putting the pressure here in the jungle.
Ooh, Sensui committing the retribution there. The fight breaks out. He does have it. He places himself right behind the Appraiser's Wrath. Circle Eagle coming in, forcing out a Nether Realm. The Nether Realm coming in from Yue. A clutch engage. Look at the back line. Flapteasy finding Renegade. The Blazing Duet coming in from Oheb, keeping them in check alive for just a few more. Blacklist survive. apbren continue the assault through mid. It's 3 bodies. Edward, the only one with health. And apbren gonna take this objective. A close and sweaty fight. They continue on. Flapteasy finding Oheb in the back line. Trading out 1 for 1. Circling Eagle keeping Few down. It's a double kill for Edward. Blacks International. The clapback. Make it apbren pay.
Edward coming out swinging, 3 kills now on the board for him. Can they go ahead and also secure this objective? Whittling the gold lead down now. Renegade also picking up the Flask of the Oasis. Should be able to help them throughout these skirmishes.
A wonderful play coming up from Blacklist. I thought that it was crazy that they stayed, especially because Flap had Flicker.
Oh, here we go. This is about to break out. Check out Super Marco coming in from the east. Edward, the eyes on him. The shutdown from Ogwin. Once more, the combination of the Retri and the ult taking down 100% of the turtles in game number 2. Hitman Airlines, catch a ride. Blacks International keeping damage under control, allowing OEB to buy time, push in down bot.
What a journey,
What a
right?
journey.
The guiding win once again, coming in clutch, but still, Edward fell there. Apbren also getting the third turtle of the game. Will also be working on this turret. They're getting the objectives. They're getting the space here, Wolf.
A massive play coming out from Apbren meant that they got the turtle, they got the kill, they even get the turret in the top lane, and then a purple buff. So they got a lot out of that. Maybe the only loss is Oheb was able to farm into the bottom lane for quite a bit. That's a full lane and then a full turret. But overall, Apbren gets so much out of that mini play that they did.
I like the fact that you mentioned Oheb as well, right? That's kind of what he has to do at this point. Yeah, it's not a big goal disparity or anything like that against Apbren, but we've seen this before. Putting things into place for later on in the game, especially when you have a Claude in your draft, you have that split push potential, right? We've seen this many times now. So if it's, you know, taking these baby steps, getting this tier 1 turret down, working to put pressure on the other side of the map, forcing Apbren to respond, that could work, but hold on.
Sensui walks into that bush, the pull from view, Renegade, of course, used Circling Eagle, using it to disengage. Kyle Teasy forcing the issue, pushing in to Blacks International's jungle. And what's interesting, between all of the factors you guys mentioned of how Blacklist might be able to clap back, again, very strong split push potential when it does come down to that. Again, you're seeing Oheb now sent to the top lane. Something tells me whoever trades better, or whoever forces a fight that makes the other miss out on those big swings will eventually win, because this is still a close game, 3-3, 3K about, Apbren ahead. Renegade is still able to check.
And I completely agree with you on that. Because that also means that they will take more space. For example, Apbren have been constantly pushing the envelope onto the purple buff.
Cool.
And now, the final slash, putting Edward right where he needs to be. The flicker up from Agent Zero. US saving him with a Netherrealm stolen away. The Netherrealm from Apbren as well. Flapped easy. Clap one. Edward falls. Super Marco. Sensui traded up with Kyle Easy. 4 for 1. 2K for Marco. Oheb the only one left. It's a bloodbath in that corridor in Blacklist jungle.
Apbren again decisively getting 4 members of Blacklist International. It didn't look like it would be a huge gold lead for them in favor of power, but man, that fight just showed it. Woo. And Ogwin, if you just keeping Oheb at bay here. Lord now up though. Super Marco gonna go ahead and work on it.
But did say that Apbren might be scared of getting the 1-1 because there's the Famis and there's the Valentine already, but now they have proven that they have a play around it. Just wait for the Netherrealm to be up, and then when Blacklist International copies the Netherrealm, what they do was to actually blow onto those shields. Flapteasy just flickers in with Ogwen. They know that their combination is enough to lock down the members of Blacklist International, allowing Super Marco to get the passive. And getting 3 marks means that you will get the ultimate. It's like Apbren were preparing for Super Marco to take off, and that was a beautiful play on their side.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you think about it, because even when things try to fall in place for Blacklist International, when you see those team fights happening, Apbren just pulls on through in the damage department. Now Lord going to be here in the mid lane. They're knocking on the doors, big item pickups as well for Apbren as they get ready to assault Blacklist base. They're working on it. Final slash.
Mid and bottom in sync. Lord taken care of by Blacklist. The waves are well managed. Circling Eagle here by Renegade, using it to disengage, knocking up a few minions on the way back. Apbren taking this slow. They understand that Blacklist still have some firepower.
Okay, shields taken out. Still working on the turrets though. Renegade could be in trouble.
The final slash, putting him in. Few with the burn damage, taking down the Hitman. That's 1 off of the board for Black.
It's gonna be an impressive defense coming out from Blacklist International. Not gonna be enough for them to get out of their base though, which then again gonna be difficult for them to find an opening when it comes to the farm. And I wonder if Apbren, they can fish out. Oh my goodness.
One more time. Talk about fishing. They put Edward out from their base like a fish out of water. Now the base coming in. That inhibitor going down. Yue put down 1/10 of his health, surviving, but just for now. Mid lane inhibitor falls as well. Apbren, like a bulldozer, through Blacklist structures.
And they find themselves once again 10, nearly 11,000 ahead here, Wolf.
My goodness. I was just about to say that The thing with APBren is they have the Arlot, and what's special about the Arlot when you're ahead is that you can fish out people from the base with the flicker play. And that's exactly what happened. Because of that final slash, they weren't able to get like snowball of kills, a streak of kills, but they were able to push the turret anyways. At 12 minutes, that's gonna be massive. They get 2, and they open up the map. Now APBren can just take over the jungle and again defeat Blacklist International when it comes to the economy.
Ooh, scalpel position. Again, you can expect those small plays to snowball into an eventual collapse. And Blacklist International are respecting that fact now. After hearing the conceal, they're like, all right, we're just going to back off.
Yeah. Let's just back off from here, right? And that's always something about the Arlot pick, right? A lot of these teams, when they're down behind, they try to turtle up in the base, defend the best they can. You're looking at the real-time win rate. It's pretty low for Blacklist right now, 35% against APBren at 65. And that's the thing, if you try to extend the game a little bit further, that's Ogwen's job, right? Go in, fish them out of the base. But right now, despite everything, Blacklist still wants to be on this side of the fight. The Lord Dance going to be started up, but APBren, they're going to go ahead and just take control right now. Does Blacklist International have an answer for this, or should they get back to base and deal with the push in? Lord half health.
This ain't smelling like a dance. It looks like they want to blitz it. Lord here at half health. Ogwen committing the final slash, displacing Renegade and Sensui. Super Marco moving back, moonwalking back to the Lord. Sensui, just one more weakness point. Dash it on out. APBren takes another big objective.
They're clean coming out from APBren. Baiting out the members of Blacklist International, baiting out Sensui to get out and then punish them. And obviously their lanes are going to be pushing against Blacklist International naturally. Yue rushing for the winner truncheon with a needed, absolutely going up against Super Marco. He can be the first one to receive the crossbow of Tang and just deny it completely. But that means that your damage output from the Valentina, it's not going to be as optimal as you would expect from a Valentina that gets a glaive or a crystal as the third item. And Blacklist International, at this point, they're going to be scrambling for scraps.
Yeah, again, I think at this point, you're hoping that they can stay in the game at least another 5 minutes, right? Get to that point where you extend the series. Oheb just now getting a Malefic Roar will be able to help pump out some of the damage, but really it's about surviving this first, dealing with the Lord push, and from APBren possibly going fishing again.
Like synchronized swimmers, they get all waves in, picking off Renegade. Who's next up on the docket? The Netherrealm already stolen away, used up by Yue. The Lord wailing away at the base, blazing the wet by Oheb. He gets popped by Kayatizi, and that's all she wrote. Thanks for the memories, thanks for the base, thanks for match point as APBren go on 2-0.
The Hive roars as APBren gets to match point against Blacklist International. Struggling here from game 1, now in game 2. What can they do to adjust?
They gotta give a hero for Sensui that he'll be very impactful with. I think they were forced in the spot where they was able to get a Martis. I mean, unfortunately, they don't have a choice because if Bren Esports or APBren, they're just banning out all of the Sensui heroes.
Yep.
Maybe this time, they should let go of some of the assassins to kind of just open up the draft a little bit.
Let's see if they go that route. Once again, we're going to have to focus on this game too. Let's let LaFell and Gideon break it down. How'd this one unfold?
Thank you very much. And if we want to talk about a textbook game, it can't get as much as textbook as this. The moment when one team gets a lead, the other has to be very disciplined to make sure that they don't make mistakes. And I gotta say, the duo mid coming in from APBren, Few as well as Ogwen, are doing a very good job to break up the formation of Blacklist International.
I think so far they're playing absolutely disgusting. Their chemistry is through the roof, and it feels like nothing is wasted by APBren. Unfortunately, even for Blacklist International, when we start looking at things like their draft, for an example, it feels very much a little too, I wouldn't say closed-minded, but clear what their weapons are supposed to be in terms of engagement. However, APBren, so much more flexible.
Yeah, we gotta talk about APBren because we gotta talk about the MVP of this game. And again, we're gonna look at the MVP here. I'm looking at the duo mid. It looks like the MVP is again going over to Ogwen, this time on the Arlet. And we heard the casters fishing people out. And again, it's all about that control. And it's all about disrupting your opponents, making them in a position they don't want to be in.
Absolutely. Once he went past level 12, that's when he felt extremely confident to use his final slash pretty freely. It's on such a short cooldown as well, especially right after you got the Thunderbelt. So it just made it felt like Blacklist was constantly pressured by his presence, and the timers never felt right.
We're gonna look at the highlights here. Apbren again, doing a very good job to get Blacklist International under a certain threshold where they really can't contest for much. Apbren was much more proactive all around the map, attacking the goalie, making sure that Oheb is not comfortable, to the point where we even saw quite a few instances where Oheb is not in the fight. He's trying to find objectives in the side lane.
Yeah, and that's interesting as well, right? Because when we approach these types of drafts, right, you would expect the Apbren to be the aggressors. And yes, they were. They took advantage of the laning phase. But more importantly, so once we rolled around mid-game is where we expected Blacklist to actually have a pretty decent chance. This is where we got to see a lot of the problems, right? As soon as Sensui started to run out of steam and couldn't find that snowball, that's when Kaltizi became extra confident in the way that he walks up at his opponents.
Should we talk about the draft as well? Because heavy emphasis on the jungle.
Oh, yes.
To the fact that Sensui's forced onto this Marcus. Because believe you me, if there were other options, I think he would go for other options.
I feel like this was supposed to be a hard read coming in from Blacklist International. And don't get me wrong, hard reads are great when they're accurate. And I think this time around, they were expecting a lot more CC from the side of Apbren, and they're not entirely wrong, but at the same time, if you're not able to find that singular kill for that Martis to snowball out of control, you can see very quickly you lose that sort of control, not only in terms of the jungle, but especially the river side.
Again, we're gonna look at the emblems here because the Master Assassin for the side laners, EXP as well as goalie, and again, making it, I don't know, is this a new meta or is it specifically for Blacklist?
I think this is where Blacklist has to respond, right? I can understand the sentiment for Edward. He's like, I'm not going to stoop that low. I don't want to take the Master Assassin. But for Oheb specifically, after getting caught off guard in the previous match, taking it this time around, you can see that once he has max stacks on his Art of Thievery, he goes pretty well toe-to-toe against the Wan pre-4, and I would even argue pre-8 before the Trinity build is complete.
Honestly, looking at this matchup here, I'm even wondering, is it crazy to go for that Bruno? Because both teams didn't go for it, right? I mean, like, if you want to survive the lane, and even the Terizla, we're not seeing it here. Flap TZ on that Paquito is also just he has options. In case Apbren is in a bad spot, he's plan B. He can split the map up, open things up for the team for success. So, looking at the matchup, I'm liking the drive coming in from Apbren.
I'm liking it too a lot, especially once he came down to that last 2 picks, holding the R-Lot and making sure that it is still flexible as an option, really putting a lot of questions for Blacklist International to how to approach it, and more importantly so, I think that locking Edward into something like this Edith generally got some pretty good matchups, generally a Swiss Army knife type user, but more importantly so, it's too much of a lead. It's too much of an obvious trigger finger. Something that even for Apbren, they understood. If you take away Edward, and once we kind of out-resource Sensui, exhaust him in terms of his resources, Blacklist has no real means of finding a strong counter-engage other than Yue stealing the Netherrealm.
Gideon, do you like wet socks?
Ooh, hate it.
I
Awful.
feel like Apbren is forcing Blacklist into a wet sock because they look like they're uncomfortable all around. From the draft, from the laning phase, to the point where when it comes to the fights, it almost looks like they're second-guessing themselves. Should we go for this fight? Should we not? Because I can remember one decisive fight where Blacklist International was able to dive in, get those kills. Other than that, I'm not feeling it. To the point where I'm even wondering, should Renegade use a pick-off hero? Should he be the engager? Because in the game just now, I didn't see a lot of engages.
I think I would agree with that sentiment. I think that he needs to kind of go out instead of looking to be the support to create these big plays for the team, because right now Blacklist needs some kind of momentum to bounce back into these types of games, especially against Apbren, who are playing a lot more fluidly in comparison.
Surprise, surprise, Few is still the carry here, 65,000 damage. Him on the Faramis, again, Blacklist International, they want to clump up. The Ghost Bursters are going to accumulate more damage with more people around. So I kind of feel like Apbren, the way that they've been drafting is specifically for Blacklist. So I agree with what the casters are talking about. Maybe open up the draft a little bit because it looks like Blacklist, they're getting red. Their code is the one getting broken here.
I think that, especially for Blacklist International, it's not like they're out of this just yet, right? We've seen the many different ways that they approach the draft, and obviously Apbren have done their homework, consistently banning out, healers and more importantly, in game number 1. But now that we look at the damage dealt overall, this tells us a different story, right? We need multiple win conditions from the side of Blacklist International to make sure that they stay above the water and they don't go underneath that threshold that Apbren consistently put against them. Oheb can only do so much, and Oheb, he feels like he's already stretched pretty thin.
Yeah, but again, looking at the damage here, Oheb is actually doing quite well, but we have to consider that the Blazing Duet is an AoE damage compared to the 1-1 where it's singular damage. I want to take this time, even though we're looking at stats here, we got to think about the movement for both teams in the lower bracket finals here, because for Blacklist International, if they lose this one, it's not the miracle run coming in from M3, and if Apbren goes to the grand finals, it's the repeat of M2. They're going up against a team that is not a Filipino team.
Oh.
Right? M2, it was against Burmese Ghouls.
Yes.
This one against Onyx. So looking at the damage taken here, Kyle Teasy doing quite a lot of work, as well as Ogwen.
I think that at the end of the day, right, I don't believe that this is going to be a full sweep day. I think that Blacklist still has what it takes to actually bring it to Apbren. They just feel a little disconnected as of yet, and they really need to start opening up the draft to make sure they feel not only comfortable, but confident in making plays. And that's what I want to see from them, really going back and forth against Apbren, because at the end of the day, when you look at both compositions, it's just that one comp has shorter cooldowns compared to the other. You kill the Farmers, he's going to be back up in no time. You're looking at Ogwen, who's playing on the Arlet. That final slash has a 15-second cooldown at the very least once he hits level 12 with full CDR. So it really begs the question, you know what? Let's let everything go. Let's really brawl this out, because I think the mechanics at Blacklist International, their ceiling is extremely high, but it's not being abused right now.
I agree. These teams are way smarter than both of us, but at this point, go ooga booga, right? Win the gold lane, win the EXP lane, and try to get something there, because I don't know, man. I kind of feel like they're putting at a disadvantage here.
I feel like the mid lane matchups, I agree with you, is seemingly even right now.
Yeah.
Unless they can get, like, I don't know, a solo kill at some point that's really going to skew the scales, it's going to be up to the EXPs and gold laners to find the difference, to break even for either side.
Going into the next match, again, this is potentially the final match of the day, even though I hear you. You feel like Blacklist International, even not a reverse sweep, they're not going to make it so that it's a 3-0. But again, we got to look at the facts here, Gideon. Apbren is doing very well. They're reading Blacklist like a book. So maybe Blacklist, they got to change the book.
They got to switch covers.
Be a magazine.
They got to be able to write a new story, maybe even a new chapter.
I don't know, Assassin in the Jungle, more oppressive EXP, because I kind of feel like you got to unleash Edward. The moment Edward wins his lane, the moment Edward is able to flank around, the moment Edward gets a hold of the map, then maybe Blacklist got a chance.
That's the thing. When I look at these EXP laners, especially the most stable of stable EXP laners, Good Guy Boots and also Edward, two of my top favorites, they're always getting shafted in the draft. They're always put on something that's looking to smother their opponents rather than to make the biggest play of their lives on high mechanic ceiling heroes. Put him on a Benedetta once more. Give him the favorites. Put him on even Khalid even. That might be the difference maker.
No, I completely agree, and I gotta say, the view from up here, the agents,
oh dear Lord,
they are still pumped. They believe in Blacklist International. Even looking down there, it looks like an interview is brewing up, so I want to believe you, man. I want to see Blacklist turn things around. I want to see them get at least one win here.
I'm telling you.
Don't let it be a sweep.
I'm telling you they can do it. I'm confident that they're able to do it, right? I feel the energy, maybe even so, even with the energy from the agents, it could be the difference maker here.
But I like your call. Benedetta, I mean, if a Benedetta gets picked up, we're going to be happy boys up here, happy Malaysian boys. With that being said, thank you very much, Gideon. We've been able to talk a lot about the game. We're going to throw it back to the host down there. I can see Odin with the agent. So, Odin, what you got for us? What do you want to talk about?
The energy in the crowd is electric. Let me hear it from everybody. Apbren is just one win away from making it to the grand finals. But I don't think Blacklist is letting Bren do that, are you guys?
Yes! We're not gonna go home just like that.
Let's go!
Okay. So I think what we need to do, we're gonna settle this with a cheer off. How about that, guys? Odin, what do you guys have?
We go first. Let's go!
Let's go! Kasama kayo mga ingay na agents, okay? 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, go. B-L-C-K! Blacklist B-L-C-K! Blacklist B-L-C-K! Blacklist B-L-C-K! Blacklist
Okay.
What you got?
Oh, Odin, we got lots, and you know what? We even have a sign language interpreter to help us translate everything that's happening over here. All right, we won't let them beat Apbren like that. What you guys got?
Where does my resolve come from? Being a
Always on the way.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Let's make our debut in this way.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them. All troops deployed.
I'm not yet strong enough, but I will protect them. Above the horizon rises the first blood. I know some really cool cowboys, and we want fun side by side.
An enemy has been slain.
debut in this land. An enemy has been slain. Only the brave have the courage to confront the intruder. You have slain an enemy. I can use that. An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Double kill. You in this land. An enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain. At least you tried. Well, yeah, you didn't make it, did you? Ally has initiated retreat. Clear up lane. Any luck to run from this? You have been slain. Ally has been slain. Our turret is under attack. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Let's make our debut in this land. We better be on the road, Clint. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. I can't get more excited. Double kill. Let's make our debut in this land. An ally has been slain. Let's make our debut in this land. Request backup. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Let's make our debut in this land. Any luck you could run from this? The enemy has been slain. You have been slain. An enemy has been slain. Our turret is under attack. Double kill. Don't ever look back. Let's make our debut in this land. I know some really cool albums. An enemy has been slain. Side by side. An enemy has been slain. But you have been slain. Never mind. I'll be better next time. Killing spree! At least you tried. Ally has been slain. Yet you didn't make it, did you? Any luck you could run from this? Killing spree! Let's make our debut in this land. You better be on the road, Clint. It's a long way. Mega kill! Double kill! Shut down! What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Let's make our debut in this land. Only the brave have the courage to confront the intruder. You have been slain. Ult is not ready. Enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain.
strong enough, but I will protect them. I can be faster.
An enemy has been slain.
Let's make our debut in this land.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill. An enemy has been slain. 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 Wiped out. An ally has been slain.
I can't get more excited to get going now. Let's make our debut in this land. Let's make our debut in this land. Any luck you could run from this?
Ally has been slain. Our turret is under attack. An ally has been slain. Launch attack. Okay. Our turret has been destroyed.
I'm not yet strong enough, but I will protect them.
Ally has been slain. You have been slain.
I'll be better next time.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy double kill. Our inhibitor turret is under attack. Our turret has been destroyed. Our base is under attack.
can't get more excited to get going now. Above the horizon rises the beautiful sun. Let's make our debut in this land. Any luck you could wrest from this? Don't ever look back. Our base is under attack. I'm not yet strong enough, but I will protect them. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Shut down. Double kill. You have slain an enemy. At least you tried. Well, triple kill. An enemy has been slain. Wiped out. Well played, bro. Victory!
On this earlier today, right in their series early, he wanted to play this hero. This is something he's wanted to play, but he knows that, hey, Beatrix, just the way she fits in the meta currently, it's really got to be the right situation. And when you pair it up with these heroes that they have, this could be that. They're off to a great start. Poke's already in the bottom lane. They're gonna crash down.
Collapsing onto this gold lane tier 1, chipping away, bombs away. Oheb gets a face full of stacks, backing off. They're setting up for a clash in mid, but so far it's Blacklist calling all the shots.
It's going to be, again, control for Blacklist International. That's the thing when they play the Fredrin, they really know how to handle the lanes, handle the jungle.
Oh no, Yue picking up that decimate once more. No more shields on this gold lane. Close call, putting Ogwin down to a fifth of his health.
Yeah.
Filipino sniper is here.
He's gonna get checked, and that's kind of what they have to do, right? Continuing to build up the lead. Sometimes it's just, all right, let's get this extra gold, the gold plate from the turrets. Let's work around that, take the discipline route, and back off. This is also a big item pickup for few here. Gets the necklace of Durance Wolf.
Yeah. I mean, very important for sure. But that means that Apbren might just resolve to just backing down a little bit. Kaltizi is not snowballing anyways for the Martis. They are same levels for Sensui as well as Kaltizi, but the rest might struggle.
Big pull by Few, snagging Yue and Edward. Now from the side, look at Super Marco, stacks on the Yue, stacks on him, taking him down. That's one off the board for Blacklist. As the turtle gets reset, the split from Flapteezy, it looks like, based on how the map looks, Blacklist just letting go of this turtle, 1 for 1.
Yep, gonna be the 1 for 1 in terms of the turtle, but still, they've done great work around the map to garner and keep this lead relatively still in their favor for now. Apbren looking for any type of answer they can. Wow, they already get a flicker out.
Oheb, so close, surviving with about 1 HP. In comes Ogwin, the Whistler enough, using that flicker, backing on out.
And the good thing here is Apbren are activating Super Marco, was actually in there during the team fight around the turtle. And then right afterwards, you know that the ultimate is cooling down. You even have the flicker to help you out. Super Marco getting a kill and then a turret. I mean, he didn't get the last hit. It was Ogwin to clean up, but that was a lot of economy that goes in their favor.
Oh no, Abun Jingjing 2v1. It's the grab on him, displaces him. Enough for Kyle Teasy to finish the job.
And that is why the glue works. So now Apbren bites back, they crawl back, they diminish the gold lead relatively to nothing.
Oh, no.
And still, the focus, top side.
Forcing an engage on the Ogwin, bombs away. Oheb forcing them back. Ogwin put down to a fifth of his health. Gonna recall, but look at this. Flap might be looking for an engage. Super Marco gonna continue to clear out the waves.
That's the value of the Matilda. You can poke. You can see Ogwin utilizing the ultimate, not for kills, but for them to secure that turret up top without any exchange. Apbren in the last 3 minutes of the game have found their opening and now have taken the lead back to their side.
Real quick, too, power spike-wise, right? I mean, gold between the gold laners are relatively even, but the fact that Super Marco has the Malefic Roar, he's got the Blade as well, going against the Beatrix, how's this looking in terms of damage output for Apbren?
100% for Apbren. This is their power spike. I would dare say that until the, 10-minute mark, they have the lead. And that's one thing that they need to use. It doesn't mean that Blacklist International are going to suffer. If they just dodge the fights, they just farm out, clear out the lanes, they're going to be A-okay in the latter portions of the mid-game. But for now, definitely Apbren will have the better heroes suited for this turtle fight.
With the Wanderer scored, getting vision into those bushes. Now the Circling Eagle putting Sensui at half health, knocking him up. Turtle at a third. This is about to break out. Netherrealm still intact, spent in. Blast International with the stolen one from Yue. Popping that extra health, stunning him. The ult from Renegade. And Kazizi looking to secure. They got shields, they got extra damage. Bounds away from Moheb, collapsing on a Blacks International. Sensui with an Appraiser's Wrath, knocking Ogwin out. Edward scores one, sending Apbren packing.
Another trade here, Turtle taken, but they get a kill once again. You can really see the exchanging of blows between these two. Now the focus in the mid.
They keep going. Blacks International looking for that push. Flapteasy gets a long shot.
Wow. Now obviously Edward going for the plays. Super Mario going to be found here. Very unlikely for them to kind of kill each other. And Super Marco sniffs that Paquito out. We see that Apbren in these very long team fights, when they don't have their ultimates anymore, Blacklist International will have a better shot, especially because of their sustain. And I think that was the Flapteasy read. Go into Renegade instead of going to the opposing marksman. Did not work, unfortunately.
Yeah. You have to kind of adapt, you know, that strategy if you're Apbren, dealing with this SS, dealing with the amount of sustainability, right? We already saw that total heal chart. It's off the charts, especially with an SS. That's typically how it goes. So either you said you build up those anti-heal items and then you overload the damage, right? That's kind of the answer here. But right now, you saw the extended fights. Blacklist International does really well with this, Leo.
And this is in 9 minutes. This is even before Renegade is able to make all the members of Blacklist International effectively Mashas, effectively X-Borgs. And here now, they're looking at about 1,000 gold ahead, approaching the 10-minute mark. Question is, gentlemen, have they hit the rubber band? This is what we were looking for in game 1 and 2.
My heart says 60% yes, you know. I think that this is definitely Blacklist International sided, and I'm not saying just because of what the heroes that they have, but also because of the idea of the Ube, right? That is what's gonna happen. I think that Apbren might be baited into the spot where they go in one by one again. There will come a time where this glue coming out from Flapteasy will not be as tanky as you see him. Like when he goes for Renegade, he can be taken out easily because of the Beatrix. And then what you can do is, after the Netherrealm is popped by few, you can just take it out because you have the Nibiru's Passion anyways, and then set up for more kills afterwards. And you can even see Sensui just manhandling the entirety of Apbren by just staying in front, going for the taunts, going for the knockups, and then landing the finishing blow with the ultimate.
And going back to it, you know, like how, because we don't see Beatrix often, we're getting the signal, by the way. What is the power spike for Beatrix now currently? What, 2-3 items? Already have the BOD locked in. How much more do they need upon assaulting this bottom side? See if they commit.
Yeah, maybe just the Wind of Nature for the Beatrix so that he can man-fight against the Brody. And Brody might be forced into utilizing the ultimate much faster. Interesting, Demon Hunter Sword for Super Marco. Much needed in this fight where there's a lot of sustain on the side of Blacklist International.
Yeah. Now with that, Lord going to be up this time around. Relatively well, both teams contesting the early objectives, the Turtles. 2 turrets for each team as well, even space to work around with. But right now, Edward's still on the bottom side. Lord resets for now. Blacklist International not want to fully commit to it. They go ahead and buy a little more time. Malefic Roar being picked up here for Edward. So this could turn the tide of some of these fights. Again, from Apbren, forcing out the Netherrealm is going to be crucial here, and how Yue plays around his own as they get prepped and ready for the Lord dance.
Here we go. Lord approaching half health. Flap easy force you the split early on. Apbren's initiations saying it's time to dance. Blacklist finally obliges and forces them back. Now, the dance continues.
No ult for Flap.
No ult for Flap.
Gotta watch out. Still another realm intact for both Yue and Few. Checking in that bush. They're aware. Yue is present. Lord here at half health. Sensui, Edward and Oheb taking the top lane, controlling that long bush. Flap easy check in. No one home. Lord at half health. The dance continues.
Half health here, still gonna go ahead and get this reset going. Both junglers taking their time. Kaltizi, half health himself. It's up to Apbren to try to put the pressure, whether that's on Yue, whether that's on Renegade.
Edward
Watch
waiting patiently.
Agent Zero might be able to burst down Kyle. The patience. Oh, he sees him, and the bomb's away, coming through. Oh, Shooter's aura out. Another round from both sides already spent. Kyle Teasy in peril, in danger. Flap Teasy coming in, forcing an ult from Renegade. The grab onto this Estes, keeping him in damage range. 4-0 to take out. Kyle Teasy, look at the back line, waiting for the timing on the retribution. Memory, knocking out Edward Balboa. And there's an Appraiser's Wrath, putting down Apbren, down each to a fifth of their health. Kyle Teasy with the decimate, Oheb with the shutdown. Few taking down Yue. It's a bloodbath near the Lord Pit. Oheb the only one standing. Traded off for Kyle Teasy. Apbren stands their ground.
They're gonna go ahead and work on this Lord here, though Kyle Teasy is gonna be out of the picture. Oheb, the last one alive. They're gonna drive him back.
2v3, 1v3, gets the double. This is the Filipino sniper in the building. Rizal Memorial, acknowledge him.
Nevertheless, it will be Apbren to secure the Lord. Already, Blacklist International forced out the ultimate of Flap, but at the second team fight, Apbren was managed to reset the Lord. Then afterwards, you can see the jump coming out from Flap TZ, forcing Oheb to also flicker out. Additionally, Super Marco managed to land all of the stacks, forcing out, and then after the flicker, he lands it on the entirety of Blacklist International, taking them out with a torn apart memory. Then Apbren with Kaltizi surviving with a sliver of health. Ogwin jumping in at the right time with a guiding wind, and then Few popping the ultimate as well as the right time. Apbren, a wonderful team fight that they were able to get.
Patience upon patience, man.
Yep.
They got reserves of it, both sides.
As they got to deal with that. Still, Apbren playing around this Lord, going down the mid, putting the pressure here, top side.
Forcing out a response as they pull Sensui in. Circling Eagle, there's another round from Yue. A lot of stacks popping those extra HP bars. Few still has his ult intact. That's the torn apart memory spent in, not enough stacks to be actually a threat as Apbren clear out the waves. Blacks International, though, able to take care of this Lord in quick fashion. Mid lane inhibitor still standing, a third of its health left. Renegade healing up. Blacklist's cavalry, the front line still stand.
Now they make their way top side here. But Blacklist International able to hold on for now. Still Oheb, exactly where he needs to be on this Beatrix as we take a look at the items here, Wolf.
Not that behind. Away from Super Marco, but we know that this is the power spike for Super Marco. Able to get 4 items, eventually gets the 5th. And then upcoming Lord, that will be critical mass for Apbren. And I would dare say that is their only win condition right now for Blacklist. The fact that they didn't lose any of their inhibitor turrets at that Lord push, that's actually good news. Even after losing the fights, they know that they can punish. They will just have to wait for their own critical mass.
Oh, battling it out in the jungle.
Flap Teasy here, very low, might be taken out, gets the rod out of Sensui, but Oheb takes him down. That's a free pickoff. Blacks International all this while. The 12th Hall of Legends inductee out in the long lane, taking care of this tier 2. Abun Jingjing doing work.
He has been. And just before all that, you saw the difference between the gold for the XP laners, and that's why as they get another turret down. Tier 1 in the mid lane. Edward has been doing work. Man. He is online in terms of the items. Oheb also just picked up that next item, the DHS. And this is important, right? Looking at the real-time win rate, it's 50-50 currently, as this is one of the closest so far of this series, or the closest game that we've had. Now game number 3.
And I would say Blacklist International, all they need to do is to survive the next Lord. let's just say they lose it to Apbren, but they defend and not get pushed by Apbren, they will have the pendulum swinging in their favor. Apbren, this is their last shot. They have to take this, and they have to take Blacklist International members together with them. Eventually, this Brody will not have the proper scaling against Blacklist International, and eventually Renjay will be tanky enough to survive all throughout the combo, and that means the doom of Apbren.
Amazing. Renjay able to use that skill as a vision getter, checking in bushes. He is so deadly with the Estes, and that's an oxymoron if I've ever said that. Checking out the dance. Look at Edward again taking control of the long bush. Flapteasy keeping guard. Lord here, a third of its health pulled away directly from Blacklist International, but they don't mind. They're taking control of this pit as the Lord gets reset.
Gonna go ahead and get reset here. Blacklist International wants to go ahead and whittle down Apbren and let them take and tank this Lord on their side. They're willing to let them do that and punish them. Also, the fact that Yue still holding on to this Nether Realm, providing the damage that he has, picked up that Divine Glaive earlier on. That's the threat here for Apbren and why they're so hesitant for this. Again, they're trying to get in position. Edward now joining this as well. Sensui keeping the Lord between him and Kyle Teasy. Still, neither team, it's a 50-50, just like this Lord dance. As they work on these buffs, Super Marco grabbing the orange. Edward waiting patiently. Lord will get reset once again. Wolf, this is the dance.
This is the dance. Every single detail matters. Like pushing the bottom lane as well as the top lane. You can see bottom lane, Apbren will have the advantage, but Edward tries to correct it, going for the short lane. And then who's holding on to the Lord? At this point, only Flapteasy from Apbren is valid to hold that. And you can see Super Marco is doing, he's attacking the Crammer.
Oh, there's a circling eagle and the taunt from Sensui. This is the point of no return. Edward coming in, revealing himself, dealing a lot of damage. The Nether Realm from a Yue. They pop the extra life bars. Lord down to a fifth of its health. They're gonna have to come in a tenth of its health. Canceled out. Easy scores the Lord. The second of this game at 17 minutes. They take down Sensui. Edward surviving. Flapteasy taken out. The Filipino sniper falls. It's a shutdown. Easy hunting for Yue, finding bodies. Bottom lane gotta get taken care of. Yue way deep behind enemy territory. No man's land for a Valentina. Gets taken out by few. It's just Edward left standing. A Lord marching in mid.
Edward left standing. Lord making its way down the mid. We're gonna take a quick look at the instant replay here. Brought to us by Katia as we get back to the game.
This is endable. Apbren can smell it. Edward gets taken out. His immortality pops. He gets taken down. The wipeout, the Winter Trunks juggle. Sensui looking to clear. Apbren, the world tour continues. Next stop, the grand finals.
And the Hive is alive once again. In another sweep, Apbren will move on to the grand final to face Sonic.
They have found the opening in that Lord dance. Renjay found Sensui, found Flapteasy with the opening with a stun. Super Marco as well. Fishing out Edward and punishing that Paquito. That was a beautiful Lord dance from Apbren to end this game.
They adjusted quickly from the previous series, and that's exactly what they had to do. But again, what a story here for Blacklist International leading into their season, into the M5. And what they've accomplished once again, both teams. Unfortunate that one team has to go home. That's the nature of the competition. But either way, the Philippines can still be rest assured that they're in good hands tomorrow.
You see here the sportsmanship, the mutual respect, and the love these athletes share.